All right, please give it up for our next comedian, Kimmie Wilson.
So I recently told my friends I was going to be doing stand-up, and they all asked, oh, are you going to stand all the way up? Believe it or not, I used to be a hot mess. Now I'm just a mess with hot flashes. I recently turned 45. I know it's kind of hard to believe. I'm told I don't really look it. I definitely don't act my age either, but I'm at that age where things are starting to fall apart, and I really, had to go see a doctor. So I finally just got my first physical in years. I go to the doctor, and he asks me the litany of questions. How much do you smoke? How much do you drink? Do you exercise? And I answered them all very truthfully. You don't lie to your doctor. You don't lie to your attorney. Those are two big lessons I've learned in my life. So he goes on with some more questions, and he just slams his laptop shut and looks at me and goes, "What the hell is wrong with you?" Now, I've heard that my whole life. Numerous therapists, teachers, parents, friends. I take your pick. He says, "Seriously, Kim, how many 45-year-old cars do you see out there driving around on the road? Seriously." "Well, not many, right? So you gotta maintain yourself. You gotta take care of yourself and just get the hell out of here, do what I say, and if you're lucky, I'll see you in a year." So I get in my car. I'm sitting there, I'm a little bit shook up, and I pop a Xanax, and I finish the roach that's sitting behind my steering wheel, and I take a couple of hits of my inhaler, and I light a cigarette. I gotta start thinking about my health. So I'm driving home, and I'm like, yeah, God, he's right. I'm like an antique car. Well, built, conceived in 1970, built to last. Well, spent most of my time in the garage until the mid-'80s. Even then, I was only taken out for brief periods of time and driven around clumsily by some crash test dummies. Compared to most of my friends and a lot of younger models, I really have very low mileage. Crash test dummies, and finally I found an older, more experienced driver. Really, I've only had about 3 long-time drivers in my life, give or take. That's pretty good. So I had one that lasted about 5 years, mostly on-road, off-road. He wasn't a very safe driver. He was pretty reckless. He slammed it into a couple of walls here and there, but the bumpers were fresh, so, not really dents and scratches. Unfortunately though, he wasn't a very safe driver, so the car would be home idling in the garage, and he'd be out driving other cars. So at that point, the car went up for auction to the highest bidder. And that was fun. 15 years this car had an owner. And we had a lot of fun in the beginning, but the same route over and over and over again. He drove it downhill. Downhill. And then he just finally drove it away. So predictably, after that was over, he immediately went out and bought himself another car. And he started collecting them at this point. Now, you would think he would have upgraded, but no, it's been a really, really costly habit for the guy. He bought a new car that was, he bought a dump truck, actually. It was fueled by lithium, and eventually it tried to drive itself off a pier. The second car he got, that was a real wreck, and that one was it was compact. That one was fueled purely on alcohol alone. You could pour anything into that tank: gin, vodka, mouthwash, perfume. Yeah, and he got sick of driving that one to rehab. So he's developed a very costly car habit. I mean, he's still paying for the 3 accidents he got this one into. I'm going to hell. No. I can't say that about my kids. It was really just the third one. That was the accident. Yeah, so anyways, so this car went, it came out of the garage. It was a clear title, and it was all spiffed up. It was all tuned up. It was looking good, new paint job, and I was happily surprised to see that there was a lot of people who actually wanted to drive it. But as I said, I keep an eye on it. I've always had low mileage. I'm very, very cautious about the miles I put on this car, so I only let one driver look under the hood. And, happy for me, he's still driving it to this day. Not as much, though. It's always fun to drive a new car, but, this one's barely passing inspection. Barely. The headlights still work great. They work better as fog lights, but they turn on real quick. And there's some rust on there, and there's some rust, and the trunk hangs really low, and it's broken, actually. Well, he's a musician. He's always had a lot of equipment, so he just tried to overstuff it too many times, and now it doesn't close very properly. It doesn't open anymore. I have a hard time seeing through the windshield these days. Most of my money goes into the grill. I had another one there and I totally lost it. But yeah. So anyways, this car is going to be going back into the shop for a major tune-up, and until then, he prefers to drive his own car anyways. It doesn't take as long to heat up, and it's a manual. So there's the Carfax. Thank you, I'm Kimmie.
Give it up for Kimmie, everybody.